Hello, everyone. Welcome to MOPs, our new YouTube channel focusing on marketing operations for people that are starting this area, especially for the younger generation, the Gen Z, that don't really know what they are doing, so need a little guidance, a little conversation. That's why we are here too. First, my name is Lucas. As you guys can see, I'm Brazilian. I was born in Vitória, that's a small city in Brazil, but now I live in São Paulo for a few years. Um, I think I'm a stereotypical Brazilian because I really love samba, I love football, and the real football, the one that you play with your feet, not with your hands. I'm also a vegetarian for 8 to 9 years now. I'm not sure. But this means I love to cook because I have to cook basically all my meals. In college, I graduated in mathematics. I love data, I love the tech, and I love working with technology. Um, Other than that, my free time, I like to play video games, especially Nintendo video games. Was really addicted to Zelda in the end of last year and watching TV series. And also addicted to coffee. What about you, Pooja?
My name is Pooja. I am from India. I moved to Canada. What is it like in back in 2019, towards the end of 2019, so right before COVID. And yeah, I went to school here and graduated here. Started working at Revenue Halls for now for like 2 years or so as a marketing specialist. And I'm a proud Gen Z. Lucas is sometimes confused Gen Z because
I call
he.
myself a zillennial. I'm in the middle, all right, but technically I'm
uh,
Gen Z too.
yeah, but you don't go by Gen Z terms. Like, I know I had to like educate you on the terms that Gen Zs use sometimes. So,
Most of them. I'm
um,
sorry. I'm sorry.
he's learning. He's gonna graduate soon with Gen Z University. So yeah, I'm proud
Next
Gen
call, I'll
Z.
have a diploma.
Yeah, we'll do the honors. Yeah, so I was someone who was kind of in the like same boat as I feel like many Gen Zs, like in this age and era feels like, sometimes we feel lost after university. Once we graduate, like we're not sure what we want to do, where we want to take our career. And then there's like this immense pressure from society to have it all figured out. Um, so I feel like a lot of people would be able to relate to that. So yeah, the goal, as Lucas said, for this channel is for us to like spread more awareness and like share our journey, share our thoughts and things that like we've been through. So you guys don't have to go through it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it about me. I'm also a vegetarian, and like Lucas, I don't cook that often. I should be cooking. I'm learning, but it's hard. It's really hard.
So
um,
we are a cruelty-free channel.
yes. um, yeah. That's it about me. Lucas, why don't you give us like a random fact?
All right, a random fact about myself is that my tendons are slightly bigger than they should be. So when I move my hand, you can see it's moving right here. I
Yeah.
can move my tendons the way that you shouldn't be able
Ooh.
to.
Yeah, I cannot do that.
So what's your random fact, Pooja?
Oh, my random fact is like if you so my full name is Pujarada, and if you take the first initial like P and then you take my last name and you merge it together, you get Prada, which is also like one of my favorite brands. It's called Prada. So sometimes my friend would like just jokingly call me by that name because I have that, kind of in my full name. Yeah, that's my random fact. For
Prada,
today.
the person, not the company.
Yeah. So yeah, for that I sometimes just like put like peanut Prada because it's not the same, it's different. Yeah. So
And
Lucas,
before you were saying a little bit on how you felt lost after university. How did you arrive at MOPS after finishing college then?
So when I finished university, I had this like phase where I was like looking for jobs and like doing like my job career hunt, whatever. And the time like before I graduated, I had an opportunity to do like an internship for a Costa Rican travel agency via my university, and that was like so amazing because like when you are an intern, you get to experience so much, so many things like
Yeah.
so as a part of internship, we were learning Spanish. Never got far away from "Hola, cómo estás?" So that's all. That's my Spanish. But like, yeah, we did had like some Spanish classes, art lessons, some like few sessions about like Costa Rican, history and things like that. And then I was also like a social media specialist for the company, and I was working actively with like them on like websites and socials and marketing and things like that. So after university, when I was going through this whole reflection phase of like, where do I want to start my career? Like, do I want to do like marketing? Do I want to do like admin? Like, what should I do? And that's when I was like, I did social media. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I loved how we were looking into data and things like that, and it was just not like all videos and stuff like that. But then after some time, I feel like if I had to like sit down for 8 hours, watch videos, like do that strategy and things like that, my brain my brain would just not have the capacity, so I was like craving more technical, like I was craving something where I can do my technical stuff and things like that. So I was like aggressively looking online, like I was looking into product at some point, I was looking into like other things. And then yeah, afterwards I after doing like a lot of research and a lot of digging, I came across this um, education program called Highway Education, where they were training people on MOPs, and never heard of that term before until I looked them up, and like I filled out this form, which was like a really long form for the website, because it was like asking for so many stuff. But yeah, that was my encounter and like my journey that started me in MOPs, where like they trained me, and like I had a lot of hands-on experience on different tools like Salesforce, Marketo, HubSpot, Eloqua, like, and it was also like firsthand where we were not just talking about building campaigns or talking about like building reporting and what does that look like. We were actually going inside the platform, doing all that stuff, and then also like making short clips, just like briefing someone who has never seen us, like in a way that like, hey, this is the camp, like kind of like in a role play where you would be explaining to like your manager or like someone else that like, hey, this is a campaign, this is how it performed, this is what we did, this is how we can improve it, things like that. So that was like a big learning curve for me, and that's where I met Andy. So she came into the program to like meet us. She did some interviews, like role play with us, and that's how I got introduced to her. And yeah, afterwards, we myself and one of my other friend from the same education program, we joined Revenue Pulse, and we started like learning more about Marketo and learning more about Salesforce and things like that. And the rest is the history. What
Ah,
about you?
for the people in our audience, Andy is the president of the company we work now, Revenue Pulse. And she's also a marketer champion and she kick
Yep.
ass, basically. Or as Gen Z would say, she slays. Uh,
Yes.
but actually, you are the only person I know that knew about MOPS before joining MOPS. Like it's
Yeah.
not very common. Like most people, like take 2 years to even discover they are working with MOPS after working with it.
Yeah.
Uh, that's my story too. Like I graduated college, mathematician. I didn't want to be a data analyst or a data scientist because I wanted to be more close, to be closer to the business side of things. I was pretty lost on what I wanted to do. I just knew what I didn't want to do. And I was offered a job at Accenture to be working with Martech. That's what they called marketing technology. And I just like was thrown into Marketo all of a sudden, into a project with Marketo. And didn't know anything about the platform, didn't know anything about marketing operations. Just had
Who
a
gave you
boss
that?
called, sorry?
I was like, who gave you that job?
Yeah, yeah, I have no idea. Like they had a terrible process of interviews and
uh,
selecting me apparently because I knew nothing and they just thought, okay, this is the right person for the job.
would you say like your eagerness about learning new tools and your eagerness about like jumping into the unknown and like just adapting to that could have played the role in why they took the faith in you?
Yeah, I think that was a game changer, and also my technology background. Beyond
Mhm.
that, like it's very hard to, at least in Brazil, have people that know the tech and want to learn more about the business part of things. Like people are usually very centered in their area. If they are tech, they are tech. If they are business, they are business. It's very hard to find people in between. So I think that was a good opportunity for me. Then I was thrown into that project and I met my boss, Bruno, and he is like a Marketo master. We run the Brazilian mug together now, the Marketo user group here. And he taught me a lot for 4 months. And then he left the company, and I was the only person who knew Marketo there. So all of a sudden, I inherited an instance, and that's the story of how I became admin with 4 months experience. It was insane. I had to learn a lot. I started doing like really different things, working with API, velocity scripts, custom objects, very, very different things than usual, with very little time with Marketo. But at some point, I realized I stopped learning because there was nobody there to teach me. I was
Yeah.
already in the top position and was getting boring. So I received an opportunity from Revenue Pulse, and like when I was interviewed by Andy, and she's a Marketo champion, and I already have read her blog posts in the past. Like, okay, this is a person that really can bring me to the next level. So I accepted. And curious enough, just after I joined Revenue Pulse, I learned what MOPs meant. I didn't know. I was just saying I work with marketing technology. I didn't know what marketing operations even was before joining RP. So it took me like 2 years working in MOPS to realize I was working in MOPS.
After 2 years, you realized you had the wrong job title.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I was describing what I did wrong.
Oh my God, that's so funny. But that's really inspiring. That like it's also inspiring in a way that like someone like if I had to imagine someone new coming into the industry, because like I feel like mobs a lot of the time like gets overshadowed by marketing, because like people think it's the same thing as marketing when it is not. So yeah, that's really inspiring to see like you can have that distinction like later in your journey, and that's fine too. Like later on your journey after 2 years you realize that like, oh, all along you were
Yeah.
just doing marketing operations.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you guys are watching it and don't know what you are doing in your company, maybe you are doing marketing operations and you just don't know it yet. And I hope right now you are starting to figure it out. It's very common. Like most people just stumble into MOPS and inherit an instance out of nowhere and have to learn a lot. And some people are lucky to know before they get into that. But I'd say like it's 5% of the
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah, I agree. So we have like a series of questions, and that's why I'm looking on the other side. So the first question, Lucas, I'd like to ask you is like, what does mobs look like for someone new coming in? And by someone new, I mean someone Gen Z coming in. So you got to explain it in Gen Z terms.
It's going to be super hard. I don't know if I can do that.
We'll judge
Uh,
you for that.
thank you,
Rest
thank you.
assured.
I want to be given notes afterwards. The first thing I think it's a good balance between strategy and technology. Like if you
Mhm,
want something that you can apply your tech, but not be only doing that, I think Mobs is a great place because you have the space to be discussing and with marketing on strategy, on how to measure things, you go into data too, and all of that. Also think because everybody just kind of arrives into mobs not being
mhm.
prepared, people are very empathic with people starting like and the community is really good and you have a lot of support. and you can just reach people and ask for help, and most of them will be pretty open to that. Same time, these are good things. I think there are very hard things to deal with, like lack of documentation or even very, very bad documentation, poorly written and
Yeah.
not helping you. And even official documentation is going to give you bad direction. So for people that are using the API, for example, the Marketo API sometimes will have in the documentation that they accept JSON encoded, but they
Mm-hmm.
don't. They just accept URL encoded parameter. So that's really bad because you spend hours and hours trying to figure out what there is, and you are doing everything correct by the documentation, and
Yeah.
it still doesn't work. So you face a lot of this in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Also, the community is super centralized. Speaking from someone from Brazil, here we didn't have a mug. Like we didn't have mugs in Latin America 1 year ago, basically when
Yeah.
me and Bruno started the first Brazilian, and the end of last year, and how started the one in Mexico. Like most of things happen in North America, and you have to be able to speak in English, read in English, to be able to understand what's going on with the community. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a bad limitator here.
Yeah. Like the language barrier and like, would you say that kind of bleeds into like finding the right opportunities too? Like if you are from someone from LATAM, trying to get into MOPs, would you say like that would be difficult?
Yeah, yeah, you have to be very lucky to find a good job in MOPS. And like first you have to be able to find a good job. Then you
Yeah.
have to be able to have someone to help you start because it's
Um,
very hard to start by yourself. And after you start and you have want to develop more, you need to be able to speak in English and read in English to understand the documentation and to connect with new people that can help you. So it's
yeah.
really very many barriers. It's not
Mm-hmm.
impossible, and if anyone in Latin America wants help, you can reach me. I'll be able to try at least. But and even Spanish speakers, I speak Spanish too. It's not like Puja that just speak English. I can speak Spanish and Portuguese, so
I speak
I'm
little
here to
Spanish.
help. Como estas is not little Spanish.
Maybe little Spanish.
All right, all right.
Okay, and how consider that as like a little Spanish, I would say. So,
All right,
anyways,
he has more rights than me. He's
yeah.
okay. But like,
Um,
what's your perspective in mobs? Like, what do you think
I
it
feel
looks like
like
for someone coming in?
it's a perfect mix. Like if you're someone who's like not sure what to do, and if you're someone who enjoys like the technical side of the things, but also enjoy like collaborating with a lot of different teams and like talking to different teams and things like that. Like I feel like this role would be like a perfect place to start because I think in this role you are like you have that skill or like you can express like your technical skills and you use them too, but at the same time you can use like you can talk to people, you can work together with people and like try to like even though you're in mobs but you kind of know a little bit about everything, like you would
Yeah,
know
you're kind
a bit
of
about,
in the middle, right?
yeah, like you would know what data is and like what do data people do and like how to ask them for things that you need, or you would know like what is like what CMOs or like C-suite is expecting from you in terms of reporting. Like it's like a really like a mixture of a lot of things, and I think that's what it makes fun, to work in, like
Yeah.
because there's like always something new happening, always something like challenging coming in, and you're like, okay, let's do this. So I don't know, like that would be my perspective of like you are lost and you're thinking about it, to join in mobs. I think this would be a perfect role if you are like into technology, and also want to like collaborate with a lot of team and are a curious individual.
It's like you're sitting always between tech, business, marketing, and data too, because you're
Yeah,
always talking with all those people, and you have to learn the language too, like how data people talk is very different than how business people talk, and
yeah,
you have to be able to translate
yeah. And
that
I
for
like a lot
sure.
of the times when you have like other stakeholders like for example, field marketers, they speak like a different language than like you what you are speaking, even though like if you look at like a bigger picture, both of your roles kind of fall under marketing, but it's like two different things. So yeah, it gets really interesting. Trust me, guys. So, the next question I have for you, Lucas, is what do you like most about mobs? I mean, you've been on this role, I mean, doing mob stuff for how many years? 3, 4 years?
Yeah, 3 to 4 years now.
Yeah.
And
So, what would you say is your most like? What do you like the most about mobs?
yeah, like I think I have something that I love the most and something that I hate the most. But the love the most, definitely the technical challenges, like things that you
Hmm.
have to solve, like data flows or some part of the code that you have to figure out how to work in that platform specifically that you are working with. And
Yeah.
those three challenges sometimes keep me up at night and keep me thinking a long time, even a week, focus on them. But I really love that part of the job, doing
Mhm.
something that I before considered impossible, something that
Yeah.
makes me happy. But I hate the repetitive tasks when you have to set up the same campaign 20 times in the same week. That's something that really drove me off. I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't do that anymore. I need something
Like
to
automated.
fill my brain. Yeah, please automate it. I don't want to do it again. Stop making me do it.
But
I think
like
you have a different perspective, right?
yeah, like okay, I understand like the frustration around repetitive tasks on things, because like that's something like we do experience like firsthand, because like we have seen a lot of like many instances, worked with like so many clients, so we know like how different people work differently. So like there are like a lot of things that goes in the back end of it, like at times like yeah, we do want to optimize things or like automate things, but might not just have the budget for it, like the resources needs to be allocated somewhere else and things like that always gets in. So like the beauty of mobs that I like, it's always like inspiring to see, and like it's always like really fun to see is like how mobs people, with the limited resources that they have, they just like go heads on and like make automations or make things like try to make things in a way that like would ease their workload, which I find like it's pretty good. Like it's something that keeps me fun and excited. But the other thing that I like, or like I enjoy in mobs, like I've been in this now for over a little bit over 2 years, so I really enjoy campaign execution. Like I know Lucas is all about like coding, like APIs, things like that.
So
I am
campaign
all
execution is pain for me, but all right, I
I'm all
respect.
yeah, like I'm all about campaign execution. I just love like executing a good campaign, like, having all the assets. Like I love creative side of marketing too, like building landing pages, emails, and things like that. That's like my happy place. And then setting up like, like automating like the workflows, like to automate users journey throughout that campaign. That's also something that I enjoy. So I feel like I'm more about, all campaign stuff. And not that much about APIs. But I don't know. That could change in future.
Yeah, and I think I'm being a little dramatic about hating it. Not like hate, but
Yeah, like
it's
it's
like the normal part of my day, and the
yeah,
exciting part is usually not that. But
yeah,
it's I think everybody who's starting mobs or even like working mobs for 10, 20 years needs to execute campaigns because that's how you really know what's
yeah.
happening there. And it's like the way I see it, it's like the necessary work that I have to
Mhm.
do in
Yeah.
order to get a better understanding of everything.
Do you think so? Like, if somebody who doesn't know coding, could that act as a barrier for someone to enter into this field?
I I don't think it's a barrier actually. There are many people in mobs that don't know how to code, and that's not a problem because right now, like nowadays, it's even more common to not know how to code and even though be able to deliver
Mhm.
solutions code based.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think the person needs to be it's only open to learn and open to evolve. because
Mhm.
like you will stumble with code at some point of your MOPS
Yeah.
career. Even if you don't want to, if you want to avoid the most, you won't be able to. At some point, you have to edit an HTML. You have to understand why a JavaScript is breaking,
Yeah.
uh, and then you can use a lot of tools that we have nowadays to help you, like ChatGPT or even Google it.
Yeah.
If you have to be open to try it out, but it's not a barrier to not know. Most people actually think are not great coders. I'm not great developer at all. Like I think I'm
If
okay at Python. In the rest, I just survive,
Yeah.
and that's enough to get by.
Yeah. But no, I still feel like you know a lot about coding and you know a lot about like technical stuff and in terms of that.
I think I know a lot for someone in mobs, but when you
Yeah.
compare to developer knowledge, it's a whole different level. And I don't think anybody in mobs actually needs to get to that level because
Yeah.
it's
We
not
don't
what you're
Yeah.
mainly doing.
Yeah, we're not developers. Not trying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that kind of goes into our next question. That's what's the
Yeah,
most important traits to succeed in mobs? I think like the most important one is the willingness to try and learn. Like
I
you
agree.
you need to be able to try things out, see they not working and learning from it, and doing courses, taking certificates. Like it's something from your root. It must be in your routine.
Yeah, like a kind of like a day to day where you are always like
Yeah.
looking for new information, like trying to learn new information or like thinking about different like ways to optimize like processes or stuff like that. I second that. Yeah. Like it's really important for like one of the most important trait I would say would be to show eagerness in learning all these things. Like if you're not someone who doesn't enjoy learning new things or if you're someone who's not into like looking or finding for a lot of those solutions and things like that, I feel like mops is not the place for you because like then you would be hating your life because you have like so much pressure from
Yeah.
like a lot of other things kind of at work because I feel like at the end of the day, no matter if like where you are in mobs, it is kind of like high pressure if you don't know a lot of the things, like yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, definitely. I can believe in 4 years. Every year I took three different courses and try to learn something
Yeah.
new every year and still hasn't stopped.
And that too, all while working actively with clients, like, helping
Yeah.
different clients build their like campaigns or like taking on their marketing initiatives and things like that. So it's like on top of what you are actually doing, you
A- And sounds like hard work. It kind of is. It's very hard to keep your brain active
fun. I feel
constantly, but it's also a lot of fun because when you study something
like
outside of mobs and then you come to a challenge with a client and you use that thing that you learned, it's like, wow,
it's really
that's pretty
fun.
amazing. I can
Yeah.
remember in the start of last year, I was studying a lot of JavaScript, and all of a sudden, I was using that in clients that didn't even knew they needed it. So it
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
Yeah. And also, like for a lot of you who don't know, Lucas was the first, not kind of like first person, but I would say like Lucas was the one who's like started using ChatGPT in ways that like I wouldn't have thought of using it. And then he graciously showed us, I mean, like here, like internally showed us a lot of the things that he did with it and all of the cool stuff. So, if you guys are interested, let us know. We'll share some of it with you. Not
Yeah, of
everything,
course.
probably, but yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun to like learn, like in so many ways. I mean, how in so many different ways you can use it and how to like. Because I remember like one of the challenge that we were talking about at the time was like how to accurately describe your use case that you are asking help for and like how to be specific or use like certain words to like get your desired output. Um, so yeah, um, going into our next question, Lucas, what do you recommend for someone starting in MOPS in 2024?
Okay, being very direct, like first thing, get out there, reach out to people, connect with them, and
But
get
wait,
some resources.
when you reach out to people, what if like sometimes people don't accept your like connection request or whatever? Like, what do you have any advice for people on that?
My advice it's that's like a funnel, like a sales funnel, you know. You reach out to 20 people expecting to close one.
Yeah.
So like just don't go to only the people that are like, oh, Marketo champion, because those people usually have a
Yeah.
lot of things in their schedule and they're already pretty much booked. There
Yeah.
are other
Mhm.
amazing people out there that can really help you and you don't know even exist. So like do a deep dive, try to find those people that can help you start. Follow
Yeah.
resources. Nowadays we have so many resources. Like we have I think it's Darsil, his name from India. Like he's always posting things in LinkedIn, like many great tips. We have MOPs, mops.com, great community that is always sharing stuff.
Yeah.
You can learn a lot from them. And like the last tip is just do it. Start doing it. Even
Yeah.
if you don't know if it's going to work out, test it in sandbox. If it doesn't work, try again and read a lot of documentation online. You know, eventually you'll figure it out. So,
Hmm.
and it will make a lot
Yeah,
of
I
sense.
agree. Yeah, I agree. One of the things that I would say, like when you are reaching out to people, don't take it personally if they don't like, accept your connection request, or like it doesn't go the way that you are expecting it to be. Like I think everybody's like at a different stage in their journey, and then um, like trust me, there are people who really want to help you. Like there could be many people who are not willing to do that, but there are like also many people who are willing to do that. And like I'm sure like Lucas, you must have encountered this in your career too, where you like reach out to people and they might not, respond back, or like it doesn't go the way
Many
that you would
times.
like. Yeah, me too, many times. So like just say like don't take it personally, move on to next, and like um just know there are people who really want to help you out, and are happy and excited when you reach at that stage of your journey. So yeah, go
Yeah,
out there.
and value those people. Like I still keep in touch with my boss from 4 years ago. That's when we still like chat
Hmm.
like friends, and we really became friends. And he helped me until today. Like if I have a question, I can reach out to him, and he's always open to help. So cherish those people that are there to help you because they really deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely. um what do
Mm.
you recommend? Sorry, share one of your epic failure.
Yeah, one oopsie moment that
Just
you
a little oopsie.
it's like you just wanted to hit your face in the sand and forget you existed. Uh,
Just go into hiding.
yeah, like it's terrible, but that happened like, every
Yeah.
time in Mouse. Like you do something that you just regret that you did it. I was creating a webinar for a client and I didn't connect the Zoom with the program properly. And
Yeah.
everybody that registered thrown a registration error and didn't get the proper email for like a whole day before I realized it. And when I
Eh,
did realize, it's like, oh, I hate my life right now because it's such a mess and I have to fix it. And I had to like call our manager, Jazz, and say, hey, please help me. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I did wrong.
oh my god.
Before be transparent with the client, say, hey, I messed things up, but I'm fixing it right now. This is the
Yeah.
impact. This is what I'm doing to fix. And try to solve it as quickly as I could. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's really bad when you mess things up. But come on, I think at the end of the day is mostly on how you approach the solution than how you mess things up.
Like
What
what
about
was
you? What
what
was
sorry.
your epic failure?
Before we hop on to my epic failure, I have a question for you. So what was like your thought process the very first time you realized that like shit, I made a mistake? Like what was your thought process?
Yeah.
Like what
My
to
first thought was to close the computer and think that nothing there existed. Like I don't want to keep working today. Like this is way too bad. I don't want to face the consequences. I just want to hide for the day.
Yeah.
Drink a little bit of water. All right.
Did you
I
cry?
need to ask. No, but I'm not that big of a crier, so.
Okay.
But I felt a lot of shame. Like it's like
Yeah, yeah.
I hate myself right now.
But
Like
then what
uh
actually do after going through that
After
internal
that, after
monologue.
that, I was thinking, okay, who I can count on to fix that, and I think the what I'm feel grateful of is like having a
Hmm.
manager that really embraces mistakes and it's okay with them, and it's not going
Yeah,
to like point fingers at you. Of
yeah,
course, I will receive a message saying, "Hey, you should have done this," but it's not like, "Hey, you are dumb. You should have done this." It's like, oh,
yeah.
"This is the
It's
right way to do things next time. Please to
yeah,
follow these guidelines next time."
yeah, yeah. Make sure not to
So
repeat the same mistake again, because you don't have
yeah,
excuse to repeat it again. It's just not acceptable.
yeah, but that's like I believe it's much better managed that someone would say, "Hey, you messed up. That's bad. You
Yeah,
are a terrible worker." Like that's not the environment that I received. So makes it easier to share more mistakes than to
yeah,
try
yeah,
it again.
yeah, yeah,
And she really helped me to fix things. So very grateful.
yeah,
And
yeah. And Zoom
to
can be
craft the message for the client too, because English is not my first language. I believe for the last half an hour, you guys noticed that I phrase things weirdly sometimes. So I really needed help in that part.
oh,
She
that's
helped me a
cool.
lot too.
That's really cool. For okay, I don't have like that big of a epic fail right now.
Come on.
The only thing I was not
It means it's coming. It's coming.
okay, let's not do that.
I'm joking.
um, yeah, what I was gonna like, okay, so this might not be like a big thing, but I struggle to pull a smart list. Like, okay, so for people who don't know what I'm talking about, so in marketing ops, when you're setting up a campaign, be it any tool like Salesforce, Marketo, HubSpot, whatever, you always have like a marketing database, and every campaign has like a different initiative for like a certain type of audience. It might not be relevant to like the whole marketing database, but it could be relevant to like one specific audience which you are trying to target. And it's really important as a MOPS person to be able to like pull that list of people, because you don't want to miss out any potential people who could be influenced, and could be part of could be like part of that sales journey. And so
Or even
yeah,
target the wrong person.
oh yeah, or if you target the wrong person, that's like a whole
That's even
different story.
worse.
You would
Like
have
it's
like
a promotion for US and you're targeting people from Japan. No.
and you would have like a big list of unsubscribers if that happens. Like when you're
Oh.
targeting a wrong message to a wrong people, they'll be like, "Why are you talking to me?" It's just like unsubscribe. I don't know. That's
It's
what I
even
would do.
worse.
Yeah, like that's what I would do. Like if I get a random email for like a random thing that I cannot relate to, I'll be like unsubscribe. No, cannot do
I'm
this.
actually lazy to unsubscribe. Can you believe that? I prefer open every random email than subscribing. I should be better at this.
That's why they get you.
Yeah. That's how they keep me in their database. Even though
Yeah,
I don't buy anything, I just don't unsubscribe ever.
yeah. But so yeah, I struggled for like 45 minutes to pull like a list, which could happen just like a, you
Hmm.
know, 10 minutes thing, or like maybe 15. I don't know. Like I struggled pretty bad, because the thing with like, especially with Marketo, there are like the way you go through, like the way you use the steps to pull the people, it pulls people in that sequence. So if you and correct me Lucas if I'm wrong, but like if you miss like step one of the steps, like it pulls either less number of people, or like it would pull more number of people. So that's when it gets
Yeah.
complicated and like
Yeah.
fun
It
too. But
changes everything.
yeah, yeah. And then you are like, I was able to pull like 1,500 people, but now I'm just getting like two. What happened?
What did I do wrong?
Right. And then like if you wanted to pull like 2,000 people, and then you get like 15,000 people, like it can go either way. Careful. Yeah.
It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
All right. I think we are getting to our end, but I have a random question for you, Pooja. Are you ready to answer?
Uh Maybe. Yeah, let's go for it.
All right. If you could eat only one food in the rest of your life, or if you could just listen to one song for the rest of your life, like you have to pick, or eat one food or listen to one music, which would be?
Like, so eat one food. So just
Yeah,
like,
like just pizza for the rest of your life.
or I can just listen to one song for the rest of the life.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter if you're in a party or like the Taylor Swift concert. If your music's from Ed Sheeran, you listen to
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran when she's singing, all right?
Okay, so it's just like one music or one type of food. Okay, I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with like, oh my god, did you hear that?
A little. I don't know what's that.
It was my series, like replying back to your question. I don't know why.
Neither.
Don't know why. That was spooky. Anyways, so I'm gonna say
She's very loud now.
okay, let me I feel like the moment I say something, it's she's gonna go. Okay. I'm gonna go with like eating the same food for the rest of my life because I cannot listen to the same song. I need variety. Like even today when I was
Mm.
working and listening to some music in the back end, I had like random playlists, like from slow jazz music to like hip hop pop music. So I can now
All right. It's a
I would
valid
eat
reason.
yeah, I can eat like pizza every day in my life.
But
And
there's the follow-up question. Which would be the food?
what? Oh yeah, that was the
Which
follow-up question.
what yeah, what's the food that you would eat forever?
Pizza. I mean, I love bread.
And
I
which
love
flavor of pizza? Pizza, it has to be a specific flavor.
it has like okay, I love a classic margarita with like basil leaves. Yeah, it's just it hits the spot. It's like a comfort
Yeah,
food.
it's a good pizza. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know that.
What about you?
I think I would listen to one song forever because I get tired
No.
of eating the same thing
You can listen to
over
one
and
song
over.
every day, like throughout the day for 24
Yeah, I
hours.
get I get very addicted to a song when I first start to listen to it, and I can really listen to like five,
Yeah.
30, 50 times
Is there a
nonstop.
song that you are like listening to right now? Like,
Uh, right now, listening a lot to samba because just past carnival,
oh yeah,
and so that's in my mind a lot. I'm listening to the one from Mocidade of
yeah,
this year. That's about cashew. You know the nut cashew.
yeah.
They did a samba about that, and it's really good. It's really funny. You should listen to it.
Yeah, I'd love to check it out. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I would go in that direction. Although I don't know exactly which song I would track, but it's for me it's definitely better than just eating one food. I would be sick of it in 1 week, I believe.
Guess it. So I guess you don't have a favorite food then, because like a favorite food would be something that you can eat every day.
I do like vegetarian hamburgers. I love them, but I get tired of
Hamburger.
them too. Yeah.
That's okay. That's a good choice. I mean, I was gonna say that's not a good choice for someone who is like healthy, because like hamburgers are not healthy.
Yeah, they can be healthy if they are made of soy protein and white cheese.
Mhm.
They
Okay.
can be healthy.
I don't know why I don't trust you on that, but okay.
Come on, they can be.
I don't think so, but okay. Yeah. So, okay, music for the rest of the life. So you would listen to what was the song? Cashew song?
Yeah, I don't know if that would be my song, but I definitely would go towards music.
Which song?
And
You have to choose a song.
okay, so I think it would be acoustic poetry number 9.
What is that?
That's like it's a little rap mixed with samba in
Uh-huh.
Brazil, and
Okay.
they do like a mix of different songs into one with maybe 10 different artists there, and it's kind of a slow vibe, but pretty
Ooh.
dancey too. So it kind of hit the spot in anything that you need. And the number 9 is my favorite because I think they have 14 versions right now or 15 versions right
Oh,
now, and I like the number 9.
okay. So it's like a good
And it's
mix.
around 10 minutes, so you don't get sick of it so easily.
Okay. So like it's like a